Hi everyone, and welcome back to my channel. I am here with you today just to provide a little context, I guess, just for any new viewers who might be seeing my videos for the first time. I am Cierra. I am 29 years old and I just moved to Vietnam. It's almost been a month, which is really crazy. I can't believe all that time has gone by already. I left America on February 21st. So I guess one more week and we'll have been here for a month. So I just wanted to take a little bit of time to describe just what led me to this point and why I decided to move to Vietnam. It's been a journey, to say the least. So for anybody who doesn't know my story, I left a belief system behind last year. And with that, I lost all of my social ties. So basically, if you leave that particular organization, religion, then all of the people that you knew through there, they no longer speak with you. You're labeled as danger to others spiritually because you no longer believe. And so after leaving that, I essentially had to start all over as far as building new connections. And as a kid, I was always someone who struggled to make friends. As an adult, it's become easier, but the connections that I lost were ones that I had for years. And I will say, as somebody who's just naturally introverted, it was definitely difficult to kind of put myself out there, but I shifted my mindset and I just decided that I was just going to do it and try and, find people who had similar interests. And so I joined a hiking group. I actually found a Facebook group for people who liked hiking in the Charlotte area, because that's where I moved from. And I ended up joining a hiking group called Purpose Driven Hikers. So if you're in the Charlotte, South Carolina area and you want a group to hike with, definitely Purpose Driven Hikers. I'll include the link to the website and just like the Heylo link if anybody wants to just look into it and is interested, just because it's full of really amazing people, and I met some great people, still in contact with them even while I'm abroad. And so I love it. I'm very passionate about it. And so with that, joining that group and meeting people allowed me to see that I am capable of finding community in other places. I am capable of putting myself out there, doing something different because I want to. And the desire to move abroad is something that I've had for a really long time. I first kind of got the idea when I studied abroad in Italy in 2017 during my sophomore year of college. I studied in Venice, and I had always told myself after that, I want to live outside of the US. And for a long time, I always thought that it would be in Europe because that's what I was most familiar with. I've traveled the most throughout Europe. I'd actually never been to Southeast Asia or any part of Asia at all when I decided that I was going to move to Vietnam. But I just used that experience that I had starting all over last year socially to start my entire life over in a new country. I figured, hey, I did it before. I'm able to meet new people. I'm able to put myself out there. I'm able to do different things. So why not try it abroad? And I think that me already having gone through that difficult situation of losing all the people that were close to me at that time, it kind of gave me the push to really pursue this. So also in the background here, I was working a job. I worked in claims, so I did a lot with like insurance, short-term disability, FMLA, leave management, all of those sorts of things. And it was a very high volume job, meaning that there were constantly so many things to take care of. There were emails phone calls, the claims I actually had to manage, FMLA leaves I had to manage, and we were also working within a 24-hour turnaround time for emails and phone calls, but it never stopped. And then my team lost 3 people. 3 people quit. And so with that, the whole workload became even greater. So I had a standard workload before, which was more manageable, but after all of those people left, then my workload doubled. So think twice the emails. I'm basically managing the caseload of 2 people as one single person. And I was working 4 10-hour days, Monday through Thursday, because I wanted to adjust my schedule to give myself a little more work-life balance. So I had my Fridays off. I was also completing my master's program, so I would use that Friday in order to, get work done, get ahead, and just give myself a break. And after everything with the job, and the job just kept getting heavier and heavier, I noticed there was such a stark contrast from how I was during work and how I was when I was away from work. And it was just, I felt this relief and I felt happy whenever I didn't have to be tied to a desk for 10 hours a day. And I realized, I said, I don't want to do this. I had also been trying to move out of the position that I was in at that job, because I thought maybe if I could, move up in the ranks within my company, maybe, just work my way, follow the steps that were outlined, then maybe this could be a place where I could grow professionally and I could be okay with that. But along with that didn't work out for me. So I would apply for positions, and it would just be like rejection after rejection after rejection. And it just began to be overwhelming as well, because I was just thinking, well, what's wrong? Why can't I do it? I know I have the skill set. I know that I'm able to perform well in this role. Why is it that I can't? But it was always something. It was always, oh, well, you don't have this. Or maybe if you took this class, which is offered next year, we would love for you to have that. Or you have so many great qualities, but you don't have this. And I'm just thinking, okay, so I don't want to be in this current role that I'm in. I am constantly being told that I'm just this close to being qualified to do something else. And I knew that if I wanted to get out of that position, I was just going to have to leave it. And that's when I started planning to leave and teach. And this is actually would be a return to teaching, because I was for a first grade teacher previously. I did transition out of the classroom and I went corporate. So I was corporate for about 4 years. And I don't think that corporate is necessarily for me either. But the fact that I wasn't happy, and I knew that, that wasn't going to be something that I wanted to continue doing, that's what really pushed me over the edge. And the way that I thought about it was, 2025, I began leaving things that no longer served me. That belief system no longer served me. I found myself not agreeing with the rules and guidelines that were laid out within that belief system. There were things that just angered me, things that upset me, and ways that you're supposed to treat people that I just didn't like. And so I figured it's time for me to just leave. I knew that it was going to be something that was going to be difficult for me, and it definitely was, but it was absolutely worth it. And that's how I looked at this. I knew that moving to a different country was going to be difficult. I knew that I was going to have some good days. I knew I was going to have some low lows, probably, just getting acclimated, but it was something that I was prepared to do. And I started doing a lot of research. I originally was going to consider a move to Spain and join the language program that the Spanish government sponsors. but the timeline didn't work. I wanted to leave the US as soon as possible. Mind you, this is all happening probably in November of 2025. I start having these ideas like, I'm going to quit my job, I'm going to leave the US. And so with the Spain program, I wouldn't have been able to leave until October, because they have specific guidelines when it comes to applying for the visa and everything like that. So I could not just up and leave. So I decided instead that I was going to, look at some other places. I considered Thailand, and then Vietnam popped up on my radar from a little, I think, ChatGPT search, if I'm being quite honest. And when I saw that, I started looking into it more, started watching a lot of videos, looking at the English language teacher market there, and the cost of living. It's a more affordable cost of living than the United States is by far. And yes, I'm letting go of a lot of the comforts that I had in the United States, but I'm not necessarily mad about it. I've been able to live a simpler life here thus far. And yes, there's a language barrier, of course, but I personally have been met with nothing but kindness from the local people here. I learned a few phrases in Vietnamese, but right now Google Translate is heavily in use. But even with the language barrier, I feel this sense of calm, and I'm really enjoying just immersing myself in a new culture, seeing how the local people live, looking at another part of the world and how it functions versus what I know from growing up. And I don't regret the decision. I think that this just follows the trend of, leaving things that no longer serve me. That job was taking more away from me than it was giving me. And so I made the decision and I left. I planned it out. I planned out my next move, and I looked up the things I had to do as far as, making sure documentation was in order so that I would be able to teach here once I got here. I'm starting my CELTA class, which is the TEFL, Teaching English as a Foreign Language certificate that is needed in order to teach in Vietnam. So I'm actually taking it here. I start on March 30th. There's a series of pre-work that has to be done as well, which these next 2 weeks are going to be spent doing those, studying pre-work, hanging out in coffee shops, studying. There are some language exchanges that I plan on going to as well. There's one every Friday. So I think I'm going to be trying some of those. I've met a few people since being here, and I am just living my life, and it feels really good. I don't feel the stress and anxiety. So even though I don't have, an exact plan and exact science, I feel that it's going to be okay. And if it isn't, I can go back. If I really have to go back, I can go back. But I think that I am able enough to figure it out. If something goes wrong, I can figure it out. So I feel good about it. Hi, I am back. I had to go get my grab order. My food was delivered. So I just wanted to, just confirm that everything is going well so far. Like I said, I'm starting my CELTA/TEFL course in a couple of weeks, after which I will be able to officially start applying for jobs here. And I'm living. I am excited about these next steps, and I plan on sharing more as I go. So I'm gonna go eat, and I hope that everyone has a wonderful day, and I will see you in the next one. Bye.